Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I had experimented while I was at my mom's house with decoupaging on napkins, on tags with napkins. And they turned out really nice. I love the look. I used some of my tags that I had done like the ink smooshing on. Which I'll do that one day for those who don't know how to do it. I'm sure everybody pretty much knows how to do it now. But I used the Tim Holtz Distress Collage Medium in Matte, and it turned out so pretty. I love them so much. Today I decided I wanted to try an experiment, which I'm sure someone's done it before. Like they say, there's nothing new under the sun pretty much. Everybody's done pretty much everything. But I had seen on Artie Maze's channel, and she saw someone else do it, someone who I think does design stuff for Tim Holtz. But she used some of his collage paper, and this one is the botanical one, and covered and put it on fabric. And so that's what I did. Is this is collage directly on fabric. And she stopped at that point, but I went a step further, and after it was dry, I used my Inktense blocks and I watercolored it with the Inktense, which Inktense blocks, if you don't know what they are, they also make them in pencils. They are actually ink in blocks, and as long as you completely wet them when they dry, they are permanent. So that's what I used to do this journal cover. So what I wanted to try today was using the plain collage paper that has nothing on it, and see if I could do an image, color it, and then decoupage it. So that's what I'm going to try today. I was going to use this tag, but I didn't really like that you could see the blue through her face. So we're not gonna use that one. We're gonna use a plain one, and we'll see what happens. But what I did is I took this block, which I'm doing mermaid stuff right now, and this is the only really nice mermaid stamp I have. I just ordered some from Simon Says Stamp. So soon I'll have more mermaid images. I'm just stuck on mermaids right now, and I'm really just planning on doing like all kinds of mermaid journals, because why not, right? I stamped this with archival ink, which is a permanent ink right here. I stamped it in this, and I stamped it on, and then I actually flipped it over and I colored it with my alcohol markers. I have Copic markers. You could do it with any alcohol markers. Now, I tried to do it on the other side at first, and you can kind of, well, let me pick this up. You can kind of see here where it started to take the ink away, and I thought maybe I couldn't use these with alcohol markers, which, as I say that, I'm not sure if you can or can't. But anyway, what I did was I just flipped it over and colored on the opposite side, which I really like that anyway. I like the look you get when you turn it back over. I didn't really do any shading per se. I did add a couple of places here and there where I did a little bit of darker color, but overall I just colored it with one color with my alcohol markers. And I'm sorry if you can hear my dishwasher in the background. I try to have that done before, but I didn't today. Now, I have never used the collage medium with alcohol inks, so I really don't know what to expect. This could just be an epic fail, but we'll all learn a lesson from it, right? Now, I ordered these small jars like this from Joann's, and I was super disappointed because when I got it in, it was all dried up. I added water, so this may not even be what the right consistency is for this stuff. I don't know, but this is how I use it. I'm not going to throw it away, but you're just going to put a layer of the collage medium down on your substrate. I'm using, this is actually Canson XL watercolor paper, which I do not like to watercolor on, but I do like it for like ink smushing and that sort of thing. It's a nice heavyweight paper. For watercolor, I would rather use Arches. It's just a better quality paper. All right, so I'm just going to center this on here, press it down with my fingers. And it's got little wrinkles in it. I don't care. So I'm just going to leave the edges like this right now because I'll come back and tear it afterwards. All right, so now we're going to put a layer on top. Let me go ahead and tear it now because I don't want to put it on the part I'm not going to use. So I really don't pay close attention when I tear things. I'm like, the whole point of tearing is to get a nice jagged edge and not to be precise. The only time I'm more precise is if I'm doing like tearing napkins for the decoupage and there's a certain thing I want to get in the picture. Otherwise than that, I like the randomness of the edge. All right, so we have a nice feathered edge now. This side could use a little bit of, I use a trick I saw Tim Holtz do. Use this little sanding block. I'll see if it works because I've never done it before. It may not work because it's wet. Yeah, I think it's just wet. That's why it's not working. It worked in the middle. Okay. I love finding all these new tricks to do. I'll throw that in my trash can and then my cat will dump it out and eat it later because that's what he does. All right, so then we're just going to take the collage medium and we're going to dab it on. I'm kind of brushing and dabbing at the same time because that'll help push the air bubbles out of it. I can see now, like if I was going to do this again, which I'm sure I will, I would not put like this dark spot right there on her hair because I don't really like how it shows up once it's collaged down, which it was really hard. Of course, the alcohol markers don't really blend on the collage paper. So you really have to expect that you're not going to get, and maybe someone who's better at alcohol markers than I am could get it to work. But I like to say I know how to do a lot of things and I do a lot of different crafts, but I am by no means an expert at any of them. I do too many things to ever get to expert level. All right, so here is, oops, let me get her in frame. Okay. Here is the Mermaid decoupage down. Now this will dry matte. This is a matte finish. So I'm just gonna let her dry. This stuff dries pretty quickly. I'm gonna put her over here. Now I was gonna show you how I did the ink tint. I usually have a towel. Here it is, to wipe off my mat. Oh, it dried now. Oh well. Yeah, my mini mister doesn't have any water in it. Okay, it doesn't matter because we're about to use the collage medium again. So I want to use this flower. Now there's a couple of different ways you can do, use an image on either napkins or collage paper or even tissue paper. This doesn't have water in it, so I'm just demonstrating. But you would wet around the edges of what you want, and then when you pull, it'll just give a little feathered edge. And if I would have thought about it, I would have got some water so I could have shown you that. But I'm just going to tear it. You can also cut it out. Now this is one of those times where I am going to pay attention to how I tear, because of course I want to get the flower in there, but I'm still not looking for perfection. If I tear off a bit of the flower here and there, I'm really not very worried about it. I want to get this sleeve. All right. So I'm going to put it down here. Let's go ahead and tear that bottom edge. Now this is where, like, sometimes you can get a nice feathered edge on the very edge if you do the brush technique. I still don't like how that's straight. Tear into that a little bit, because I don't like the straight bottom. All right, that's better. It's not completely straight. So I want to put it at a bit of an angle. And so what we're going to do is, like we did before, just put our collage medium down. And this brush is a horrible brush. It is probably not the best brush to do this, but it's what I had available. All right, so I got a layer of it down, and we're going to put, now I watched a video with Tim Holtz, and he actually pounces it down instead of rubs it down, and he said it helps get the air bubbles out better, and I have found where that works. That's one of the good times that I'm using a cruddy brush, because I don't have to worry about messing my good brush up by misusing it. I don't think I got any under this corner. If you miss some spots, you can just lightly lift it up and put some under there. And I'm kind of pouncing and pulling it at the same time on the edges. I hope I'm doing better staying in frame, and I really appreciate y'all understanding that I'm learning. And so if I'm completely out of frame ever, I'm so sorry. I'm trying. Okay, so now we're just going to put some on the outer edge. I mean the outside, not the outer edge. I was thinking about having to tear the outer edges, so we're just going to brush this on. And I love the look of the brush strokes in it. I think it's so pretty. Got an air bubble there, so I'm gonna pounce that down. All right, I love how you can see the blue through it. It's so pretty. All right, now, I'm going to do this, and I haven't done it before, so it may not be a good idea, but we're gonna do it anyways, because you never know until you try. That's the way I craft. That's the way I do a lot of things in life. You don't know how it's gonna turn out until you try it, so you might find out something super cool by trying something. But we're just gonna lightly heat this. Sorry for the noise. And do it from the back. It is wrinkling badly. All right, that does dry pretty quickly. Okay, that I probably over dried it because, you know, I didn't want it to still be wet. So let's try this again and see if this works. I don't know if I'm doing it right. This thing doesn't have much sand left on it. This thing's so old. I have this from when I sold Stampin' Up, and I quit selling it in 2007 and started selling it in 2001. So no telling at what point I bought it, but it still works. It still got some stuff left on it. But if this works great. I mean, look at that edge. That's gorgeous. All right. Way better than me accidentally cutting part of the tag off while I'm trying to cut the edges. Okay. Let me wipe up what I can get up of the desk. I do have to have water for this next thing, so I will be right back. Sorry, let me go get some water real quick. All right, sorry if I shook you when I got up. The camera's on my desk, so sometimes it shakes if I bump it. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is try to clean off this mat a little bit. I hope everybody's having a great day, and I really hope some of you will try this. It's a lot of fun. I have never done this type of decoupage before. I mean, I'm sure most people have decoupage something at some point in time, but it's very, very addictive. While I was at my mom's, I just kept making more tags because it was so much fun. Oh, I'm so sorry about this squeaky noise and the jiggling. Okay, that was a bad idea to do that. I won't do that to you again, sorry. Okay, I'm going to use my Inktense blocks. And since we already have some blues on here, I mean, this would be beautiful just how it is. I just want to show you how I did the coloring on it. So I'm going to use some purple. And I've never tried, nope, that doesn't work with these. Okay, so I'm just going to take them out and use, and then I'm going to do the pink. Okay. And I'm sorry, I don't know what colors those are. They're not really marked with a color name. And I just got those off Amazon. Okay. So what you do is you want to wet your brush. Remember, you have to completely wet the, it has to just be wet. And this part's easy to do that, but if you're using the actual pencil ones, they're a little harder. So, ooh, that's very bright. We're gonna go in with, I don't really mean bright, I meant dark, but we're gonna go in the shadows with this color. And that's just the spots that already have the dark on there. And as you can tell, I'm not really doing anything fancy. I'm just moving the brush back and forth. And the places that I already did, if you kind of go back over it now, it'll kind of spread it some. There. That's very pretty. I'm gonna put a little bit more right here. We gotta re-wet it. You can also use these blocks, like color with them onto something. I've dyed fabric with them, which unfortunately doesn't stay very well. It kind of washes out. It starts off being very vibrant, then washes out some, but there's better things to dye fabric with. Okay, so that's all the purple, so let me rinse my brush out all the way. So now I'm gonna go in with this pretty pink color. And I didn't swatch this first, so these may not look good together. I'm just going by what they look like on the block. And I'm just gonna come through and add some pink. Bit here and here. Now I'm just going to wet the brush, and I'm going to actually kind of just blend the color out by adding water, thinning out that color some, and kind of wiggling the brush back and forth. That'll blend the colors a little together some, and it'll also thin it out just a little bit so it's not as bold. And I love the little mixture you get, like see right here where you get that pretty mixture of the pink and the purple. It's very pretty. I think we're gonna leave it at that. I don't think I'm gonna do anything on the leaves. I'm gonna leave it like that. And then what you can do afterwards is, once it dries, which we'll dry it, I'm sorry, it's gonna be loud again. I really wanna get one of those Ranger tools that's not as loud. Dry this a little bit. And as you can see, when you dry it, it really gets more matte because of that matte medium, and it's not as vibrant. So if you wanted to, you could go back with another layer of the color because it's not as vibrant, but I like that. I want more of that toned down look. So now we're just going to take our matte medium and we're just going to do a layer on top of it. And because those ink tints are permanent, they're not going to move, even though they're right there under that. And this will protect it, give it another nice sheen. I was really looking forward to using the crazing medium, but it was completely dried up and I couldn't even get it back thick, so I just need to order some more. All right. So there you go, that's what that looks like. Very pretty. I'll probably put a little bit of lace or something on it just to add a little something extra. So we're gonna let that dry. Let's bring our other one over here. It feels like it's pretty dry. So what I'm going to do with it, let me put the lid on that so it doesn't dry out. Sorry if I wiggle you. Okay, we're going to take some tumbled glass, distress oxide, and I'm gonna get one of these makeup brushes, and we're just gonna come in around the edges with it. I'm trying not to do it too hard because I don't want to wiggle the camera. The different things you have to think about when you're making a video in crafting. Okay. We're just going to bring this in like it's the water around her. I like how that looks. I'll wipe that up. I don't know, might not have been 100% dry, but it's still working. So I'm gonna wipe this brush up because then we're gonna come in with a little bit of Stormy Sky. I like the tumble glass and the Stormy Sky together for the more muted tone project that I'm doing right now. So we're gonna get some of the Stormy Sky, and I'm just going to do it at the bottom. And I like how it's kind of pulling up on that tissue a little bit, or the collage paper, I should say. get in all those little crevices. I like how that looks. All right, that looks great. Now I think just to add a little bit more depth to it, we're going to add a little bit of the tea dye, which I'm going to use a different blender because it's an ink, not a distress ink, not a distress oxide. And I'm just going to add some of the tea dye. Gonna add it right here around the edges. I may go back with Vintage Photo right there, just have a little darker, but I love the look of that. I'm gonna bring this in from up here, kind of look like light coming down on her. Yeah, I really like the look of that. So let's see, what if we come in with some Vintage Photo instead? Let me grab the Vintage Photo. I'm sure I have one on my desk somewhere, but let me get my photo. Sorry about that. I still have everything packed up from when I went to my mom's. So I apologize that I keep having to get up and down. Okay. How long have we been on? Oh, not too bad. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this other, you know, the Distress ink brush. And we're just gonna come in at the bottom with it. Get that a little bit darker. Oh yeah, I really like how dark that's getting down there. I could do some walnut stain. I just don't think I want it that dark. Almost like this is the floor, the ocean. I really like that. And I love how it's discoloring some of that stormy sky I put on there, and it's giving it more texture. I really like the look of that. Okay. So we're just going to cut the edges to make it look like a tag. I don't know why, to me, tags have to have this. If they don't have this, they're not a tag. Some people are like, if it's square and it's a tag, it's a tag. But I don't know why. I'm like, gotta be. All right, so there's those edges. I'm gonna ink that up a little bit more with the tea dye again. Clean it off so I don't get Vintage Photo on it. These microfiber towels are great for scrubbing off your brushes. I just got this at Dollar Tree. And then that's beautiful. Oh, I love this. Very pretty. Now I just want to come in one more time with a little bit of the tumbled glass right around the middle, just to reinforce that blue. Get a little bit there. I'm really liking that. That's really nice. Okay, so those are our finished, well, I say finished. I might add something else to this one. I'll probably add a little bit of lace or something, but all that stuff's packed from when I went to my mom's, so I don't have it out. Here's our flower that we used the collage paper and just the matte medium to glue it down, and then colored it with our Inktense blocks. And then here's our blank collage paper that we stamped on, then did some inking around it. All right. Well, thank y'all so much for joining me today. I hope that you will subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I just hope y'all have a great day. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.